Good evening, everybody. How are we doing? Katie, Mark, hello, hello. Let me just do the honors with Facebook. As you're coming in, guys, tell me how you are. Tell me how your week's been. Tell me what's going on. Chat to each other while I sort Facebook out. Here we go. Share in a group. Which group? Our group. Here we go. Oh, look at you all. There's so many of you. Good evening. Tell me how your week's going. Tell me how you are. Tell me what's happening. Have we got any more stuff going on social media? You guys have been super, super busy, which I'm always very proud to see, of course. Right, what do we want to say about this? We want to say that it's module 3. I'll look at the chat box in a minute, guys. Trying to multitask. Go live in Facebook. Right. We should be live in the group for anyone in the group. Let me just check. Come on, Rachel. View. Single page. Here we go. So let's have a look at this chat box. You guys are busy in the chat box. How are we all? Oh, wow, we got so many of you. More active on social media. I have noticed that, Sarah. I have noticed. Your brain is buzzing. Hello to Andy. Oh, and I've got a hug. Here's a hug back. Hug for everybody. I've had a tough week, actually, guys. My dad got taken into hospital on Sunday. So, yeah, not so good. Actually, no, it wasn't Sunday. It was Monday. So, yeah, bit of a tough week for me. But we're here. I'm sorry about the hair. I haven't had a chance to do anything to my hair. I look a bit like one of those cute little dogs that sits in the front of a little shopping basket, don't I? Oh, and I've only got Diet Coke. So let's let everybody get in. We've got 17 of you there. Let's just have a little look on Facebook. Angie says we're live in the group. Let's just have a look. Oh, yes, we've got lots of people over there too. Let's say hello. Oh, let's get me off volume. Oh, Andy, you've got me in 2 places at once. You lucky boy. Julie and Tammy, hello, hello. Good to see you all. I can't see who else is watching. Facebook doesn't tend to tell me that until the end. So if you're watching on Facebook, give me a heart or tell me hello, and then I can see that you're there, because otherwise I can just see a number. So it's always nice to know who I have got. So hi Funme, hi Chris, hi Claire, hi Carolyn, hi Janelle, hi Katie again, hi Lorraine. Lorraine, I loved your post today. Mwah, thank you so much. Maria, hello Mickey, hello Mark, hello Penny, hello Robert, hello Sarah, Sharon, Sue, hello. Tammy and Thais. Wow, look at us all. I guess this means that you guys want to learn about sales, yeah? I think that must be the case. And that's good, because that is what we are here to do. So, sat like a plonker in the member zone. Oh, Sue, bless you. You're not a plonker, you're gorgeous. Yes, double vision, Andy. As long as, Andy, you've got me broadcasting somewhere, that's good enough for me. So, what have I got to share with you tonight? Well, tonight is sales night. Tonight is the biggie. I said that about marketing, didn't I? Because marketing is such a brain ache for so many people. But since our marketing masterclass last week, you guys have been on fire. I've seen so many social media posts that were really on point. So they weren't promotional posts, they were personal, they were engaging, they were about your mission, your vision. They were about all the stuff that we were talking about, that makes it so important that you're connecting with your audience. And so tonight we're going to be talking along a similar theme. It's still about connection, but obviously we're talking about sales. So it's about the conversion that goes with the connection. Connection is wonderful, isn't it? But it's so much better when it's followed by conversion, because then you guys get the cash in the bank. And I'm not normally one for talking too much about money. It's just, yeah, I think I've been brought up in business the old school way, that you don't necessarily talk about your turnover. Nobody really goes out there broadcasting their turnover. But in the last 6 months, I've been incredibly, astounded by how many people do actually broadcast their turnover. And that's one of the reasons why I called this program the Profit Project, because I kind of want to say to everybody, who cares about your turnover? Your turnover is irrelevant. Your turnover does not buy you freedom. It doesn't buy you choice. And it certainly doesn't put food on the table, a roof over your head, a car, or it doesn't do anything. It's profit that does that. So, yeah, I don't normally talk about money in that way. But tonight we're talking about sales. And let's not be shy about the fact that we want to make sales because we want to make money. We need to make money because a business, however much we enjoy it, however much it's our passion, our hobby, our mission, we still need to make money at the end of the day for it to be a viable commercial operation. And sales is where that happens. And I think that's why I love sales so much. I've always been in a sales role my whole time through corporate. Was always in a sales role and always putting the customer first, because when you put the customer first, everything else goes so much better for you. So I've got loads to share with you tonight. I'm going to get into the slides. Let me just share my screen. I know we've got some new people joined. Hello, Sarah Madison. Hello, Ben. Hello, Sarah, and hello, Vanessa. Oh, technical difficulties, Vanessa. No way. Thank you so much, Vanessa, for standing in for me yesterday for that call that I missed. I heard that you were awesome. So thank you so much for that. Let me just put the chat box back on my other screen. Cool, we are cooking on gas tonight. We've got so much technology going on, it's unbelievable. So I've got a special little treat for you. I'm going to share the leaderboard in a minute. So tonight, sales, let's get into it. Come on, Rachel, flick ahead your slides. This was the homework I gave you last week. I thought I'd just do a recap. I can see from the volume of questions that I've still got to catch up on. I got it down to 0, and now I'm back up to like quite a few hundred. But you guys have really been engaging in the profit program area, you know, the learning area, which is amazing, because this whole journey started out with me wanting to get your feedback, let's not forget, on the learning space, on the way that I was facilitating and sort of, you know, leading you through this program. And the content obviously would be great to get feedback on. But yeah, the learning area, I am quite impressed with. So I'm very keen to get your views on the learning area. But you guys have done an amazing job at your homework. You've done the 2 files, you've downloaded them. I can see that you've also engaged with the bonus modules. So amazing, amazing, well done. And thank you for the social media. So here's the leaderboard. Da, da, da. I haven't got any drums, otherwise I would be banging them. So we know at the end of this, there is some prizes, and that was, I put the prizes on to keep you really, really in it. And I kind of hope that when we get to the end, you know, I might think, or you might tell me that I didn't need to do the prizes, that, you know, the content was good enough to keep you in it. But prizes always make things fun, don't they? And this is the leaderboard. So Chris, you are at the top, young man, with 72. And then we've got all, I won't read them out because that's a bit Sunday night top 10, isn't it? A bit like the chart show. I'm showing my age there. But there's our top 10 engagers. You guys have answered the most quiz questions. You've closed your modules. You've closed your lessons. And there you are in the top 10. So that first prize, the person who's going to get the free place on the 10-week mastermind, what I kind of need to do, I guess, is share a little bit more with you about the mastermind, because it starts on October the 5th and it will be most likely on a Monday. I'm looking at some other days, but it's most likely going to be on a Monday, maybe around sort of tea time, maybe this time. So I want to make sure that the person who wins it can actually attend. Otherwise, it's a pretty pointless prize. And the way that I'm going to select the winner is I'm going to put those 10 names into a hat. And what I'm probably going to do is get my little boy to come and be a guest on the show, and he can pick out at random, and you can watch him do it. He can pick out the winner from the top 10. So if you are in the top 10, the challenge for you is to stay in the top 10. If you are not in the top 10, then the challenge for you is to answer a few more quiz questions. Make sure you're closing down the lessons, because that gets extra points. Make sure you're doing all those things, and you will be flying into the top 10. Yes, Ben Oliver does have the power. So yeah, I love a bit of healthy competition. It's not a bun fight. It's not like the January sales. This is dignified, classy competition, because we're learning as we go. But I thought you would like to see that leaderboard. It changes every day. So, you know, the other day, Ben, you were number one. We've had, actually, she's not in there at all. We had Leanne at number one for a while. So, yeah, it changes every single day, okay? So I thought you would like to see that. Let's get into the detail. This is what you will want. So I asked you last week at the end, didn't I? How does sales really make you feel? And the words you used were a bit cringy, awkward, fear, rejection, and it just isn't giving you that lovely, warm, fuzzy feeling, yeah? Because sales is that, I guess you feel a bit win-lose about sales. And I've never felt win-lose about sales, even when, you know, I've been rejected many times in sales conversations, but I go into it aiming for win-win. It's never win-lose. So that maybe a shift in mindset for you there. Just always see sales as win-win, okay? I'm going to get into the detail of why. Here is why. Sales is just a conversation. That's all it is. It's a conversation between two people, and obviously it could be more people, but it's between two people who can help each other, okay? If I want to buy a Diet Coke and somebody's got one, they can help me out by selling it to me. To get it, I have to part with money. If I need a car and somebody's got one that I want, I have to buy it to get it. It's a win-win. I get what I want. I get the car. Sales is not win-lose. I don't give somebody money for a car and end up with thin air. I get a car. So you've got to start seeing it like a win-win for both sides. Just because you end up with the money doesn't mean that you've won and they've lost. Because if that was the case, then you're not selling a service that's high value, are you? Because you're undervaluing it. You're seeing it as not worth anything. Not worth anything. Does that make sense? Tell me in the comments. Does that mindset about sales make sense? Okay? Just because you end up with the money doesn't mean that you have won. The other person has also won because they're buying a service or a product from you. And we know that that's high value because we know that you're amazing. Okay, you're all good at what you do. We already know that. You've built your value ladder, and if you haven't quite finished, don't worry, you can get there. But you know what I mean. You have got your value. You know what you are worth. So it's not win-lose, okay? It's not win-lose. We must get that out of our minds. So look at Andy. Look, he's commenting here on Zoom and on Facebook. Amazing. Oh, I've got some more people. So hello, Penny. Hello. Oh, God, how do I say that? Sajad, is that right? Sajad? Hello, May. How are you doing, honey? Hello, Carolyn. Said hello to everybody else. Nicola Harper. Hello, Nicola Harper. How are you, Nicola Harper? Oh, my God. Mwah, to you. So, yeah, win-win. Penny gets it. So that is good. It is a win-win, okay? Not win-lose. Okay, so we're helping people out here. And just to really get your head into numbers, I know it's in the evening if you're in the UK. It's a bit late after a long day, okay? But the numbers don't lie. Sales and revenue is just an output. When you make money, it is an output of you doing a series of things right. And those series of things are sales activity times by your conversion rate, which we've talked about before.
Sorry, I couldn't quite hear you.
Oh.
Could you please repeat what you said?
Oh, shut up, Siri. Zoe thought I was talking to her. What did I say? Oh, sales. Maybe she mistook that. Sales conversion times by conversion. Sorry, sales activity times by conversion rate gives you your sales volume. So that's how many of something you've sold. And then it's your sales volume times by your average order value that you take from your value ladder. That gives you your revenue. And the issue that a lot of people have with thinking about revenue and knowing that they need revenue to keep the business going, keep things moving, they focus so much on the revenue, the output, that they forget to put in the inputs. So it's like baking a cake. You can't have the cake if you haven't bought the ingredients and you haven't done the mixing and you haven't done the cooking and you haven't done all the other things that you need to do, the inputs. You can't sit and bang the table and say, I want my cake, if you haven't gone and got the ingredients. And what I'm talking about tonight with sales is you can't have the revenue if you don't do the input. And the input is sales activity. That's conversation. We talked about that in the 5 C's. Conversation. Conversion. That's your call to action. We talked about that in the 5 C's. And your average order value, which you get from your value ladder. So simple maths there, and I've just put the maths there just so you can see how that works out. If I speak to 10 people and my conversion rate is 20%, I know that I'm going to sell 2 of something, 2 units, whatever that is, 2 of something. And that 2 of something, if the average order value that I sell at, or the value ladder thing that I'm selling, was £500, then I would make £1,000 out of that, out of those 10 conversations. And so then all you do to ramp up the revenue is you either have more conversations or you work on your conversion rate and make it better. So move your 20% to 25% or 30%, or you sell something of higher value, or you bolt 2 products together to create higher value. Okay, so just this is the simple bit, okay? And already we've got maths on the screen. I promise there's no algebra. So the numbers don't lie. That is how you make money. Activity, conversion, and selling things of value. Okay? We're liking it? I hope so. I'm moving on anyway. This is what I promised you last week, okay? Take a picture, watch the replay, do what you need to do to get your head around this. This is my, I say, simple way of explaining something. The slide doesn't look simple, but let me explain it. I believe that when people are going on a learning journey, like we all are here, we need to have the thing we're learning, but we also need the context. We need the wider information to help us figure out, why are we learning what we're learning? Why is Rachel talking to us about conversion? What does it matter? Where does it fit? Why is Rachel talking to us about consistency? Where does it fit? So I put together this graphic, which what you first need to do is see on this page that it's 2-sided. One side is all about inbound marketing and the other side is all about outbound marketing. So you will have all heard of sales funnels, marketing funnels. And when I talk about conversion, I'm talking about converting a customer or a lead, a prospect, somebody that isn't yet buying from you, converting them from the point of being a possible customer to the point of becoming a paying customer. Okay, possible at the top of the funnel, paying at the bottom of the funnel. Okay, so we've already talked about the FAST model, haven't we? So you can see here on the outbound side, because we haven't really talked about inbound marketing. I'm just giving you that as context. Inbound marketing is where somebody starts off with Google or your website or directory or meeting you at an exhibition or in an online community. It can still be social media. They can have seen something that you're doing, and they go down this journey here, this left-hand side journey. Forget that for a minute, because we haven't been talking about inbound marketing. Focus here on the right-hand side. What we've been talking about is the marketing that we go to market with. The stuff that we've been putting out on social media is what we focused on last week. And so you'll see social media is right up there. The first thing I've put on the list for you in your outbound marketing. And we've talked about the FAST model, haven't we? We've talked about find, attract, sell, and get testimonials. And how if you do the FAST model continuously, even if you do that with just the first customer that you're ever going to have, by the time you've sold it and delivered great results and got a testimonial, that testimonial could be the reason why you produce more potential buyers, because that paying customer who's already had great results is going to go out and tell people. And that's why it's a continuous cycle. Okay, please somebody scream at me if for any reason this is really confusing. It is a busy slide. So also then up here in our find area, we've talked about ideal client profile. And I think most of you have been and done the bonus module on how to build your ideal client profile. And that is the most fundamental part of getting sales and marketing right in any business. It doesn't matter what it is, okay? Ideal client profile. We have to have that as our biggest focus. And you saw last week with the social selling wheel, the ideal client is right there in the middle, in the bullseye position. They are the foundation of everything. They are the ruler of our world. They are everything. We've also got in this top part of the funnel, the value proposition. And again, a lot of you have been off and done the workbook on value proposition. If we don't know the value that we are putting out there to our audience, whether it's free value or paid value or high ticket value, if we aren't clear on how to articulate that in our words, in our social, in our website, in everything that we put out there, the rest is never going to happen. So value proposition has to be up there, which then leads to content of value, because once you've got your value proposition, you can put out great content. Okay, so that's at the top. If we weren't looking at inbound marketing, the client behavior is more like searching rather than on outbound where you're finding them. Okay, makes sense? On inbound, they are going to Google and they are shopping, they are looking for you, whereas in outbound, you are looking for them. Okay, so down here then in the orange, we've moved out of find because we found our ideal client, we know what our value proposition is, we know what we're going to offer. Down here in this part, we are looking to then attract them to want to talk to us. And we could do that on engagement. If it was inbound, once they've searched, they engage with you. And across both fits community, which, you know, you see that you're probably in lots of different communities and they might look different. There might be groups that meet for coffee. They could be groups that meet online. They could be massive Facebook groups with 30,000 people in them. Either way, one of the biggest things that happens now with sales and marketing is community building. And so if you don't have an immediate community that you feel that you've got around you, that you could go and find your ideal client in, then that could be something that you want to think about doing. I know a few of you've got your own Facebook groups. I know a few of you have got other communities that you get involved in, like mentor groups and stuff like that, which is all great and is all really good for community building and building that real momentum in the relationships that you're trying to get. So last week we talked about the 5 C's, and this is one of the big reasons why I wanted to do this diagram for you, that the 5 C's appear all over this funnel. So your consistency of posting is here in the community and the attract and the engagement bit. We want to be consistent with what we do. We need to share our credentials. We need to give people something to do. We don't want to just have them there looking. We want to actually give them a next step. Here's what you can do next to engage more or understand more or speak to me or visit my website. Whatever it is, there needs to be a call to action. Yeah, the purpose for the purpose for the social media post. So yeah, call to action, really, really important. And in the quiz questions, a lot of you said to me that that was the thing that you knew you weren't doing the most. You were putting all the energy and effort into the post and creating lovely graphics and great words, but just leaving off that very last bit, the call to action. What do you want them to do next? So the call to action is really important. And the conversation comes next. Yeah, that's in the 5 C's, that two-way building of a conversation, which, can anybody tell me, I did share this with you last week, how many touch points in the average B2B sale? Let's see who was listening. Oh, not quite, Mark. Try again. Anybody else got another number? 320. Claire, Mrs. T, well done you. Robert, yeah, you got 20. Chris, 30. Wow. Maybe in the building trade, I don't know. 20, yeah, we've got quite a lot of people with 20. So yeah, Claire, you were first. Well done you. So yeah, 20 touch points, and that could be a number of, that could be likes, it could be comments, it could be calls, it could be meetings, it could be coffee calls, all sorts of things. But on average, 20 touch points to build trust and relationship. So yeah, conversation, really important. Cupid, I'm going to share with you in just a minute, but that sits in the sell area where we are now. Conversion, again, that sits in the sell area. We're going to talk about that. Results delivery, you can't get testimonial if you don't deliver results. You can't promise that you're going to deliver X, Y, Z and then get to the end and deliver ABC, because you're not going to get the testimonials that you need to keep the fast cycle going. Okay, hopefully this is all starting to gel together. And then right down the bottom again, you've got your credentials that come in, because we've done our sale, we've sold something from our value ladder, we've converted the client, then we deliver results using our credentials and really making sure that the client knows the value that we've offered. And then we get a lovely 5-star review or a Facebook testimonial or Trustpilot or wherever you collect results for your business, for your sector. I'm going to let you digest this in your own time, okay? It's a very, very complicated looking diagram, but you guys seem to be saying that you get it, and so I'm glad I put it together. So maybe it just looks complicated to me because there's so many bloody words on it. But yeah, I thought you'd find it valuable to get the context of the overall mission that we're on, to try to take somebody from not knowing you through knowing you into converting and then becoming an ambassador. Okay, so let's love a one pager. Yep, Sarah, I love a one pager too. So it all boils down to this though. I can give you a complicated slide like that, but actually it all boils down to this. Who do you want around your campfire, and who wants to be around yours? Who do you want to sit and toast marshmallows with and speak and drink beer or whatever you do around a campfire until the early hours? Who do you really want there in your circle? You don't just want any client, do you? You don't want to build a community with just anyone, and they won't want to be with you either. Yeah. So who do you want around your campfire? Is it your ideal client? You know, do you really want to have them around you all the time? Okay, so yes, I can give you a really complicated funnel, but it boils down to this. Who do you want around that fire with you? So let's tell you how to convert some clients. I hope that you guys are having more interactions in the DMs, because we talked about that last week, and we said lots of fun on social media can be had by posting posts and commenting on posts and sharing other people's posts and doing that engagement that is visible on social media. But all the real good stuff goes on in the DMs. That's where the conversion happens. So what you need to do as part of your 20 touch points is take your potential client, the person sat around your campfire, yeah, the person who you've identified as being a good potential client for you, a good fit, a win-win, and you move them from the public part of social media into the DMs, and you have a conversation and you build trust and you build relationship and you get to know people. Voice notes are great for this because they just hit that slightly more personal level, and actually from a business owner's point of view, they're quicker. So I can leave voice notes a hell of a lot quicker than I can leave text messages. So, you know, I have quite a lot of conversations going on in LinkedIn DMs and in Instagram DMs, not so many in Facebook. People tend to come via other ways when it's a Facebook inquiry, but certainly LinkedIn and Instagram, there's a lot of DM action going on. And the algorithm on those social media platforms knows that you're engaging in the DMs. So even if you haven't posted that day, they're still ranking your profile highly as an engager, as a community builder. So when you do post, your post will get a little bit more recognition from the social media platform. So let's say you've got them in DMs, you both acknowledge that you are a great fit for each other. So what I'm now going to share with you is the Cupid model for closing and converting clients. So let's just say, how many of you, let me know on Facebook as well, and let me know here in Zoom, how many of you offer a free consultation, a trial period, an initial meeting, something that is a conversation where you and the client are seeing if you're a good fit. Yeah, there's quite a few yeses coming in. You guys on Facebook, do you offer that? Let me know. Hello, Raina. Sorry, I didn't see you there. Hello, Raina. So yeah, informal chat. Yeah, whatever you call it. Some people call it introductory call, breakthrough call, discovery call, whatever it is. You don't do that, Mickey. That's something maybe to think about if you were trying to attract like maybe a high-paying customer. Sometimes you don't necessarily want to do that with absolutely everybody. Yeah, free audit, Maria, that's exactly right. You might not want to do it with everybody. If it was a low-ticket client, you might not want to offer them that. But let's just say, for the purposes of me sharing Cupid, I'm going to say Cupid is a best fit with one of these types of sales engagements. So a free call, whether it's a Zoom, a phone call, or a meeting, Cupid is the conversion framework for it. Okay, so it goes like this. The C for connect is for that initial, hello, I'm Rachel, you are, the introductory bit, the building of rapport. So within the connect bit, you need to have done just a little bit of research. I don't mean hours of it, because you could end up wasting a lot of time. I never do too much research because you do end up wasting a lot of minutes. But enough to know what they do, a bit of why they do it, some values, if you can find values, if they talk about anything personal, kids, pets, family, something personal about them. Go to their social media channels, read their most recent posts, some form of icebreaker where you can open up that call, that introductory call, by saying, hi, in readiness for our meeting today, I was on your social media. I love that post that you wrote about your dog, and whatever it is, right? I'm making it up, but you get the point. Something personal, something to break the ice, something to show that you've done your homework, something to show that you care, something to show that you understand them and that you're warm and friendly and somebody that they want to engage with. Otherwise, the call starts off really flat and not very inviting. So something personal to open it up and to get that connection. The U for understand in Cupid, that is very much, if you've ever done, sales training, you might have heard it called a fact find or a need find or something like that. But the understand stage is really important. And I tend to find a good way to open up the understand part, especially if it's a call that they have booked. So if they've gone on your website or they've clicked a link in a bio or they've clicked to book a call with you, a great way to start the understand is to say, so tell me all about your business, tell me all about you. Or you could go straight to, so you said in your booking when you booked the call that you wanted my help with X. So let's start there. Tell me all about that. What's been going on? Think about when you go to the doctors. Yeah, you've got a problem, they've got the solution, or you hope they have, and you sit down and they say, so what seems to be the problem, Mrs. Howarth? And you pour out all this stuff. Okay, so you need to do the understand stage beginning with an open question. Tell me all about it. And you need to find out what they're looking for. What is their ideal solution? I say in detail, but this could be a half an hour call, so not too much detail. You don't want to be on a call for 2 hours. So tell me all about your ideal solution. The other really, really important thing that you need to ask about is time. When do you want the solution to be in place? When? And why that date? So if I was having a discovery call with somebody, in a minute, I'd be asking them all about what their ideal solution looks like. Why was it me that you booked a call with? What do you want me to be able to do for you? And then when do you want me to be able to do it? When do you want to start? When do you want to finish? Some form of date so that you've got something to pin it on. Because a very common reason why people don't buy is apathy. Just, well, yeah, I might do it, I might not, maybe now's not the right time, I'm not quite ready, I haven't got the investment, just a bit apathy. And when they're in that mood, they tend to throw all sorts of other smokescreen objections at you, but really they're just a bit, well, it's not really urgent. So if you ask them, when do you want to do this by, and they say by March 2023, well, then you know to downgrade them in your pipeline. You carry on the meeting, you find out what they want by then, and then you park it in your pipeline until then. But if someone says, I need this fixed, Rachel, and I need it fixed now, I need the solution and I think you can help me, well, then you've just understood the urgency is quite high. So a question about timing is important. The other thing you want to know is maybe what would happen if you didn't do anything. So if you didn't buy the service that we're talking about, that I'm going to tell you about in a minute when we get to the present bit, what would happen if you didn't buy it? What's the cost of doing nothing? Okay, because by drawing that out, you might surface something in them where they say, well, actually, I can't afford to do nothing because I've tried to fix this before and failed and it didn't work for me. And I need to get this done. So you need to ask a few really good questions in your understand stage. And part of your homework tonight is going to be to come up with a few questions that really suit your ideal client, your sector, your niche, okay? And if you put those in your quiz answers, I'll be able to see them. And if you want some feedback on them, I'll be able to give you some feedback on them, okay? That question from you, Andy, do I recommend using a formal CRM? It really depends on how many customers you need to sell to in a year. I had somebody ask me that question the other day, and it turned out that they needed to make 50 sales a year for their business to be, you know, exactly where they wanted it to be, and their conversion rate was 25%. So they need they need 200 leads in the year. And so they were a photographer, and they wanted to do one wedding every week for 50 weeks of the year. So they needed 50 sales. They converted 25%. So they needed 200 sales. And they were tying themselves in knots trying to make the CRM work. And I said, just forget it. Forget it. You're causing yourself all these nightmares for absolutely no reason. It's 200 leads. You can do that in an Excel document. Just don't cause yourself the drama. So yes, I do recommend a formal CRM, but only based on the volume that you're looking for. What's my view on qualification questioning? Yes, you absolutely need qualification questions, most definitely. And Penny, your average order value, I'm guessing because of what you do, is quite a lot higher than some of the other people on the call. So yes, your qualification needs to weed people out as well as put people in the process. So yeah, definitely you need qualifying questions. Otherwise, you'll be wasting a lot of time. Chris, you're using a CRM? Yeah, I definitely, if you can embed it in your company and you can make it work, a CRM is gold dust. If it's causing you to worry about processes and automations and integrating things, then sometimes with a small number of customers, it can be more hassle than it's worth. HubSpot, yeah, definitely a good one. There's a few good ones out there. Zoho is good. Capsule is good. Capsule's really cheap as well. HubSpot is lifetime free for a certain number of contacts. But yeah, I think CRMs are good, and you certainly don't want to be. If you're working hard on your pipeline, you don't want to forget anybody. So anything that you can do to date optimize your records is a good thing. If anybody's wondering, do I have a CRM? I don't have a CRM for exactly the reason that it's just one extra bit of the process. And instead we have a project management system, which, because I know my way around a CRM, because I've worked with Salesforce for 20 years, which is the biggest CRM in the world. And I used to configure it and design it so that I could see my teams, you know, they were selling 2 million quid a week. So I needed a CRM. And so, yeah, we've configured our project management system to be able to operate like a CRM. So it's just one less thing in the process. But anyway, let's get back to this. So yeah, you've got connect, you've got understand. The present stage. The present stage is you sort of pulling in your value proposition a little bit, but also matching your value proposition, your value ladder with the client's solution that they're looking for. Okay? If I'm thirsty, I'm going to sell you a drink. If you're hungry, I'll sell you food. If you need to get somewhere, I'll send you a car or a taxi or a bus. Yeah, fix the problem. Sell the sizzle, not the sausage. It's not about the actual thing you sell. It's about what it does for the client. So when you've asked them the question, what is it that you're really looking for? What do you need from me? Why me? Why my services? What do you hope I can do to help you? Whatever they say back, you need to make sure that you cover that off in your present stage. So for me, present would sound like in a real boiled down version. Let me tell you a little bit about me and why I'm confident that I can help you with what you're looking for today. What you've told me you're looking for is A, B, and C. The good news is that I deal with A, B, and C all the time. I can share some testimonials with you and I can talk to you about client results in a minute. But let me tell you a little bit about me. My background is this, my credentials are this, my experience is this. So let's get back to your ABC that you're looking for. I was working with a client who had problem A little while ago. This was the solution I put in for them and we worked together on that and the result was X. So you share your credentials within the present stage. It's not just, I do this and this and this and this. They don't care what you do. They don't care about your business, your website. They don't care about any of it. They care about how it's going to help them. And so in the present stage, you have to join together the needs that they have, the solution that they're looking for with what you do, so that they are left in zero doubt that you are the person who can help them. They need to have zero doubt that you are the right person for them to spend money with. Okay? And this is all within this free consultation, this free meeting, whatever we're calling it, discovery call, introductory call. So connect, understand, present. Really straightforward. I'm going to ask you to put together a framework that's going to fit with you. But we know that sometimes life doesn't go the way we want it to go, don't we? We know that sometimes people are going to say no. And we know that because we've been talking about conversion rate from the beginning. Sometimes they're going to say no. And if they say no, we need to be able to isolate that that's the only thing holding them back. So the eye of Cupid is for us to be able to say, obviously you're going to try and close the sale. And if they were to say, well, hang on, I've got a couple of questions, you need to isolate what is it that's holding them back. And you need to agree that that's the only thing holding them back. So I'm gonna give you a framework for this in a minute and make it real simple and easy to put in place. But you can't just isolate without agreeing, because right at the end you're going to try and diarize your next steps, your next meeting. So you can't just isolate. You've got to say, so shall we agree then that if we can work on that we're gonna do this? And then when they say yes, that's when you diarize. Okay, so the D of Cupid is that you actually diarize the sale. You actually diarize the delivery of whatever it is that you're doing. So you either take the money on the call, you book it in, whatever it is that you do, product or service wise, you get to the end and you make sure there is always a next step. So even if they say no and you can't close the sale within that call, you still diarize a follow-up. One of the most frequent questions that I am asked is about how long should I wait before I follow somebody up? And my response is always, you should have agreed in the meeting. Because guessing after the meeting is closed and you've walked away, it's too late. You can't then go back and ask a question. You could ask a clarifying question by email, but you wouldn't say, by the way, when should I follow you up? But if you're in the meeting, you can say, if you know that you're not going to be able to sell it there and then, you can say, okay, what I'll do is I'll send you a little bit more detail. I'll send you a link to my Google reviews, or, you know, whatever it is that you need to cover off to allay their concerns. You need to agree with them. I'll send you that, and how about I give you a call in 3 days? Or I'll send you a proposal. Tell me what sort of, you know, how would you prefer the proposal to come to you? Do you want me to talk it through with you over the phone? Do you want me to share a PowerPoint presentation with you? And are you the sort of person that might forget this? Do you want me to remind you, or, you know, shall we book in a follow-up call? You need to agree it there and then in the meeting. Otherwise, it's too late. And then you're left with this scratchy head moment of going, well, what do I do? You know, when's the right follow-up? The next day, 3 days later, 5 days later, 2 weeks later? It's the worst thing in the world to follow up somebody and they come back and say, oh yeah, we went with somebody else because we didn't hear from you. Yeah, but you also don't want to be a pain in the ass and following up every day. So the best thing, my best advice is agree in the meeting, what does the follow-up look like? And are they the sort of person that might forget and might need a little bit of a nag and a chase? And I usually just run towards that question and say, so am I going to need to chase you up, and am I going to need to like nag you, or are you going to make a decision in 3 days like you said you were going to? Yeah, and just say it in a jokey way. And most of the time, people, if they don't want you to follow up, they will say, no, I will come back to you. I don't need chasing. Even then I would still chase, but I would leave it longer. Or they might say, do you know what, my inbox is like Piccadilly Circus. Can you chase me up in 3 days? Because this is important. I don't want to forget this. And then you know you've got permission to follow up. Okay, so that's Cupid. Your homework is on a slide in a minute. I'm going to get, Robert, I've just seen your question. We're going to get into the objections in a minute. I'm going to go back over that in a bit of detail for you, okay? So don't worry. But basically, isolating and agreeing is you isolate their concerns, you agree that that is the only concern and the only reason why they're not making the sale with you there and then, okay? So I'm going to go over objection handling in a minute. So that's your Cupid framework for your sales call, your introductory sales call. And your homework, which I'm going to share at the end, is to create your own framework for Cupid, something that works for you. Now, it might be that you want a one-pager to be able to remind you of a few questions to ask. What I would never be a fan of, ever, is a script, ever. Please, please, if any of you ever write a script, just don't tell me that you've done it, because I'll lose sleep over it. The reason that I don't want you to write a sales script is because if you have a script, you won't be listening. And if you're not listening, you won't do a good sales call. You have to be listening. 2 ears, 1 mouth, for a good reason. You need to do more listening than you do talking. I once had a client say to me, God, I'd love to see you in a sales call, Rachel. I bet you absolutely wipe the floor with them. And I was like, really? Why would you say that? And he went, well, because you know, you're good at sales and you're good at chatting. If you saw me in a true sales conversation, and I'm talking about in my old corporate world, you know, where it was serious sales. I was selling £1 million contracts. Me in a sales meeting, I am virtually silent. I hardly say a word. I will just ask the odd question to keep the customer talking so that I can learn. And the more I learn, the more I listen, the more I know that I'm either selling the right thing or the wrong thing, or I can tailor it in my mind so that by the time I get to the end, I can deliver a really good, solid recommendation that's based on what I've learned through listening, not based on what I thought I was going to go there and flog. Okay, and that's why I hate a sales script, because it stops you listening and it stops you engaging. But if you do a little one-pager with Cupid down the left and just a little reminder of what that might look like and sound like for you, just little one-word triggers, then that definitely can work well, okay? So let's move on. We've got 10 minutes left for me to cover this. So there's a little bit of a summary version for you, okay? So there's your isolate and agree. Overcome blocks and agree a solution. Okay, let me get into the detail though, because this is what everybody needs to know when it comes to sales. When you guys told me that you were nervous of sales because it made you feel a bit icky and awkward and a bit cringy, not nice, part of the fear is the fear of rejection. It's the fear of the client saying no. And we've done all that great work to build a relationship and to build trust. And getting a no is like being knifed in the heart, isn't it? And you're just like, oh no, I thought that was going so well. And you really hope that it's going to get over the line, and you know, you're sat there with your next client and you get a no, and it's soul destroying. But it happens to everybody. It happens to me, and I sit here saying, I've been in sales 25 years, I get no's, and I know all the little tips and tricks, and I can train sales till I'm blue in the face without slides. I can do it off the cuff. I could do a day's sales training without any material whatsoever. It's just ingrained in me, but I still get a no. And so if it's all right for me to get a no, then it's definitely all right for you to get a no. And just remember, it's not personal. They're not saying, I don't want to buy from you because I hate you. They're not saying anything negative about you. They're just not ready. Or there's another reason. And obviously we need to understand what that reason is. So here's the 4 A's. The 4 A's is one of my, I'm going to give you 2, one of my sales objection handling processes for you to remember. Okay, so if you're going to do a 1-pager with your Cupid, then you'd want to put the 4 A's at the bottom to just remind you of what it sounds like. So the customer says, thanks for your time, Rachel. I've decided I'm not going to go ahead today. I thought this was urgent. It's actually not that urgent. I'm going to think about it some more. And what I would say is the first A is acknowledge. I need to acknowledge what I have just heard. So I would say something like, totally understand, that viewpoint. Absolutely. If it feels like it's not urgent, yeah, totally understand that. The next part is agree. Is this the only thing stopping us from moving forwards? Is it just the timing that's concerning you? And you're looking for them to agree that with you. Yes, it's just the timing, Rachel. Okay, great. Because then you'd answer it. Yeah, that's the third A, because then you go into the answer, which is where you provide more information or overcome the concerns. So it might be, this isn't urgent right now. That's absolutely fine, because if we're saying it's just about the timing, then actually we're acknowledging that the solution is absolutely right for you. So why don't we delay the start date and we can go ahead? And then you would do the 4th A, which is ask for the business. Okay? So you acknowledge the objection. You acknowledge what you've heard. You agree, is that the only thing? If they say no, there's loads of reasons why I don't want to go ahead. Well, then you need to ask what they all are. You need to say, well, I'd love to get your feedback. Talk to me. What else is troubling you? What else is preventing you? Yeah, because we just had a really great conversation. So maybe I've not explained something well enough. Maybe I've not gone into enough detail. Maybe it's my fault. Give me a chance to rectify it. Talk to me. What's going on? Yeah, so you need to acknowledge, you need to agree. And then when you've agreed exactly what the obstruction is, what the thing concerning them is, then you go and you give them an answer and you provide the information that they're looking for. So if the objection was, I'm just not sure, this is quite a new service, and or I'm just, I want to be able to chat with somebody else who's been through it. Okay, fine, I'll put you in touch with my last client. Or I want to be able to read a case study. Have you got any case studies? Yeah, I've got a drawer full. Whatever the concern is, you need to have an answer for it. And for those of you that are just starting your business, obviously you're going to need to build that bank of credibility and that bank of case studies, that bank of testimonials. But you get the gist, yeah? You acknowledge, you agree, and then you provide the answer. You give them the detail that they're lacking. But then it's no good if you don't do the 4th A, which is to ask for the sale again. Who likes the 4 A's? Do we like the 4 A's? Does it make sense? Can you imagine how it might sound in conversation? And so if you do come up with a 1-pager, having those 4 A's just at the bottom with acknowledge, agree, answer, ask, And even, you know, just those little trigger words, the start of the sentence will just, you know, provoke you and remind you into how the methodology works. Okay, so the 4 A's. The 4 A's work really well for objections that aren't really about money. I'm going to give you a money one now, okay? Because a lot of the time objections are about money, and sometimes they're hidden in other things, okay? So the last thing I'm going to share with you is this. This is can't, can, will. This, even though I say it myself, is gold dust, because this works so well. It works amazingly well. It also, as well as being a sales objection technique, it works really well in parenting. If you're parents and you're having a difficult time with the kids, it works in parenting. It works with friends. It works with your partner. It works all the time where somebody says no to you and you want to get a different outcome, right? Let me share how it works. So what I can't do is this. What I can do, however, is this, and what I will do is this. Okay, so let's imagine I've tried to close a sale. The client says, wow, I wasn't expecting it to be that expensive, Rachel. I can't go ahead with that. I would need you to reduce the price. So how about you drop the price by 20% and then I'll buy from you, Rachel. And what I would say is, what I can't do is reduce the price by 20%. But now I know that your budget is 20% less than the price. I can redo the proposal and the recommendation for you to come in at the budget that you have. And what I will do while we're here together, I will do that right now so that we can go ahead. How does that sound? The customer can't say no then, can they? Because I've used can't to take away the negative. What I can't do is give you what you want. What I cannot do is give you that discount. And you don't even need to give them a reason. You just take the problem away. What I can't do is give you the discount. But what I can do, you take away the negative, replace it with a positive. What I can do though, because now you've just given me an insight into your budget. I know that you've got 80% of the price I've just quoted you, because you've just said that. You are happy to pay it. So what I can do is re-look at the proposal for you and bring it in on budget for you. And what I will do, so that is, you take away the negative, you add the positive, and what I will do is you bring it into the present. What I will do is you turn it into an action, you turn it into a next step. What I will do is do that now for you so that we can move forward. Any customer who tried to say no at that point was obviously not giving you a real objection, because they can't say no at that point. Okay? Would the discounted proposal still meet their needs? Very good question, Katie. 10 out of 10, Katie. So this is really important. This is sort of going into negotiation skills training, but the principle, it must be shared. If you give somebody a discount, if somebody asks for a discount, even if it is a tiny little discount, if you just say, yeah, sure, no problem, then what are you actually advertising to them? What are you telling them? That you were going to overcharge them in the first place. So if you change the price, you must change the deal. You must change the proposal, the recommendation, whatever you call it, you know, the value ladder, you must change the package. Because if you just tweak the price to suit them, what you're training that client to do is always ask you for a discount. You're training them that your value ladder means nothing, and that you're prepared to just change the price at the click of a finger. And you cannot have your clients out there thinking that you will do that, because it leads to service issues, it leads to problems. Clients who ask for too much discount are always the hardest to service, always. And you always regret working with the clients that wanted the biggest discounts, because they always give you the biggest headaches. So if they're really pushing for a discount, then you have to question, do they really believe in my value? Because if they did, they wouldn't be undervaluing me right now. So sometimes you need to walk away. Okay. But actually, if they're gonna, you know, just talk about that final tweaking of the deal that you might say, what I can't do is give you a 20% discount. However, what I can do is give you a 10% discount if you agree to buy 18 months and not 12. That is fair. You've tweaked the package, they've come up in price. That's okay. Different deal, different price. But can't be different price, but same deal, because then they've won and you've lost. Okay, remember what I said at the beginning, it's got to be a win-win. Got to be a win-win, otherwise it's not fair for both of you. Okay, so let me just read these questions. Oh, they're going quickly. What if it's a set agenda, something like first aid, which is accredited, then you can't discount, Claire, is what you're saying. It's a set price, in which case what you could do is add in what we used to call sweeteners, so little freebie things. So you could say, what I can't do is discount that price. It is the set price and I have no control over that. That is the price it has to be. However, what I can do is provide some extra value at the end of the program where we'll do a debrief or some coaching or whatever. You might be able to, you might put something in there that is yours to give, and it's high value perception from their point of view, lower value perception from yours, and you put it in there as a little deal sweetener to get things over the line. So that is another way of dealing with the price objection. Is it a written proposal or just a verbal? It could be either, Thais. It could be either. So if you've had your consultation or free audit meeting, whatever it is, and you've sent a proposal and they come back on the proposal and say they want a discount, at that point I would not engage in an email conversation about a discount. I would say, let's jump on a call and talk about it, and then I would bring in can't, can, will. But what I would do is probably blend it with the 4 A's, and I would open it up with acknowledge. I understand why money is important. Money is important to you. It's also important to me. We're two business people who need to have a viable commercial agreement. So let's just talk about what that might look like. I can remember nearly losing £1 million deal once on the basis of a bit of a discount. And I can remember the thing that really started to change the meeting was when I said to the client, do you know what is really kind of frustrating to me right now? And he said, what's that? I said, the fact that I can see we both want the same thing. You want to advertise with us, and I want you to advertise with us. So actually the outcome that we both want is identical. The problem is we're on different paths and we haven't found a way to get on the same path. So we need to just keep exploring it until we get there. Is that what you want? And he said, yes, that is what I want. So I said, good, that's what I want. Let's make some coffee and let's pull a chair up and get stuck in. And we got the deal done. But it was going in 2 separate directions, and we managed to bring it back in and got things over the line. So I'm taking you slightly into negotiation skills, which is a whole other course, but you get the point, yeah? Believe in your value, yes, yes, yes. Any other questions I haven't answered? Oh, we're talking about Audis. Yeah, I like an Audi. Okay, anyway, we are at 8 o'clock, so let's make sure. Have I got anything else for you? Yeah, of course I've got something else for you. I've got homework. So, but before I go through the homework, let's check in on you guys on Facebook. Oh, look, Julie. Hello, Julie. I loved your email, Julie, the other day. Mwah. So, do we like the 4 A's? Do we like can't, can, will? Which do we like better? Do we prefer one over the other? Do we like Cupid? I'll do a little heart there, look. Cupid, do we like Cupid? Will Cupid help you? Will Cupid get your social media people, your new audience, the people around your campfire, will that get them from social media into social media DMs and then out of the DMs onto a call with you or into a meeting and get the sale done, get the sale made without you feeling awkward? That's the key thing for me. You guys told me that sales makes you feel awkward and a bit icky and not very nice. Sales is sleazy, sales is pushy, it's about manipulation. Well, it isn't. It isn't. Sales is two people having a conversation. using the Cupid framework, you understanding them and them understanding you. Okay, that's all it is, with a win-win hat on. Okay, so God, I need a drink. You guys work me hard, you know. I'm sweating here. I'm really hot. I get so excited about sales. I literally could stay on here until midnight. I've got like so much. Yeah, there is a gin coming, Mark. Funnily enough. But yeah, I get so passionate about this because I just know that sales is not what people it's not what people fear. It's not about being bashed over the head and, you know, your client feeling like, oh, Rachel won because I've bought a service from her and she's got my money and oh, it's awful. Because it's not awful. They've got something. So it doesn't matter what you're selling. They've come to you for a reason. They've come to you because of your value proposition and your value ladder that you've built, your amazing service, your expertise. So it's a win-win. Okay, so let's get some homework done. So you're going to head to the members area as usual, and you're going to consolidate your learning by answering the quiz questions and give me another 500 questions to read. So that's definitely a learning point for me, the volume of you on the program and the volume of questions. There is a hell of a lot done. So yeah, you're going to answer those questions for me. And if you've got, I'm very aware that I share a lot, okay? And a few of you have said this actually, that they've done other programs like this with other online coaches and mentors. And the content that I'm sharing is, I think someone said 4 times the amount that somebody else would share. So you might just get a couple of slides with a few words on, and actually I'm going into like huge detail. Well, one thing is, a lot of those people where you've been on other programs, that's been their free program where they're holding back and they're then waiting until you say, hey, I want to buy from you, and then they'll give you the good stuff. So you might be, because what I've done is I've invited you on to not a free program. You might be here free, but this is a paid program, and I'm not holding back any of the stuff. So I'm not, it's not comparing apples with apples. Yes, I'm sharing a lot, but if I was going to do a free, you know, like they do those 3-day things, if I was going to do that, I would never share this much because it's just too much. So yeah, I'm aware that I do share a lot with you and I give you a lot to think about. So if you've got questions, because I've just run through it like so quickly for you, then please do ask me those questions in the quiz area, and I will promise, however many quiz replies I have to read, I will read all of them, okay? And where there's a question, I promise you I will answer it. That is my commitment to you for being here with me. So the next part of your homework is you're going to do some posts on social media, loud and proud, because I've just been loving seeing you taking what you're learning and putting it out on social media, not necessarily for me to see, because obviously that doesn't really get you very far. It gets me proud of you and loving you and all that, and that's great, but we need your audience to see it. So we need you to showcase things like I've got here on the slide. My clients choose me because, and you might want to start your post. I've been reflecting today on why my clients choose me and I'm feeling super proud. And then you list the reasons why they choose you. Gives you a great reason to show off a bit. Why not? Just do it in a humble way. Okay? The results I achieve with my clients are boom, 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 boom. Yeah, I've been reflecting today. I've had a good day. I've been hearing from clients who I've done great work for. You know, like we've got Chris here on the call. He builds things. You know, he gets to showcase buildings. I mean, amazing for sharing the outputs of our work. That is what we need to do. We can't be brilliant in private. There's no point being brilliant in private. Obviously, we deliver our services usually behind closed doors, but we've got to be loud and proud, guys. You've got to share this stuff. You've got to show people the results that you can get, and you need to do that on social media, because then they're going to want to go on to your discovery calls where you can use Cupid to sell to them and to grow your revenue. Another idea, the work I do is important because, so a bit about your mission. a bit about, you know, why you do what you do. Some of you have already done these posts, but I'm just giving you some ideas. The work I do is important because, or you could share, doing nothing versus doing something in my sector means that, and you could do a comparison. Yeah. So not asking you to share specific case studies, but if you've got some, great. But there's just a few ideas of things that you can put on social media that really showcase how good you are. There is no point being shy about your success and the great work that you do with your clients, because it's the people around your campfire that need to hear about it. And if they really are your people, if you really have built the audience, and I know some of you are just starting to build your audiences on social media, if you really have got the right people around your campfire, they will forgive a post that other people might see as showing off. They will forgive it because they're around your campfire. They're your people. You're their people and they're your people, okay? Like us, yeah? Loving each other. So don't be afraid to share all the good stuff. Just make sure that you stay on the humble side, not the braggy side. Nobody likes a bragger. People like humble. So be humble, not braggy, okay? Nobody likes that. But people do like to see proudness and celebration, as long as they're your people, okay? They're around your campfire. So there's the social media homework. And then the last bit is create a Cupid framework that you can use on your sales calls and practice. I want to hear that you have practiced Cupid on your sales calls. So you don't want to be putting that on social media in the public space. Rachel, I've just nailed somebody for $1,000. You don't need to be putting that. You put that privately to me, because I want to hear that stuff. I want to hear that you've been able to use Cupid. I want to hear that you've tried it, and even if it didn't go to plan, I still want to hear it, because if it didn't go to plan, then I can help you. Okay, I can fill in some blanks, I can give you a bit more detail, I can help you. So if Cupid works, great, I'm celebrating with you. If Cupid doesn't go quite how you wanted it to go, tell me and I can help you and we can fix it and you can do it better next time. Okay, so get that one pager together. Everybody clear on homework? And that's just the last slide. So that is it. Whew, guys, I'm ready for that gin and tonic. Does anybody have any questions for me? Whose neighbours aren't happy? What have I done? Anybody got any questions before we dial off? Thank you, Ben. I'll just give you a minute. No, go and have a gin. Oh, thanks, Sarah. Permission means everything, because I can have a couple now, yeah? Can I have 2? My favourite lesson today. Oh, really? Oh, that's good. That is good. Fantastic. Oh, thank you so much, guys. I'm so glad that you are enjoying this. Can we ask on Thursday? Yes, Mickey, absolutely. We've got Mastermind on Thursday, same time. We will do the same thing this week on the Mastermind as we did last week and the week before. Oh, thanks, Penny, my dad. Yeah, I'll let you know about my dad. He's a poorly man, but thank you so much for saying that. But yeah, same time, same place on Thursday for the Mastermind. But again, like last week, we won't be beaming it into Facebook. So you guys on Facebook, I don't know why I'm looking at the phone, you can't see me, but you guys on Facebook, if you want to be in the Mastermind, then you need to join Zoom, because we're going to be live in the room so that we can chat and we feel like we're around a campfire. Yeah. Yeah, I suppose it is a bit like that, but we can go into a bit of detail about sales and any of your concerns with using what I've taught you tonight. So that's the Mastermind. Now you've seen one version of the leaderboard and I've got you all a little bit competitive. I will share the leaderboard a little bit more often, and I'll let you into a little secret. If you really wanted to check the leaderboard yourself, you all have access to it. Okay? I'll say no more than that, but if you really are competitive, you will go into the learning area and you will find the leaderboard, because I promise you it's there. You check it every day. Katie, why am I not surprised that you said that? You are literally on it like a car bonnet, totally all over it. Andy's checked it. Oh, right. So you guys have found it. You are keen. God, do you know what? I'm going to be really gutted when this is over. I just love, I know it sounds weird, I love your energy because I'm here on my own, but I can like feel you all at home. And Katie, you said earlier, you can feel my energy. I started off absolutely hating these lives because it just felt a bit lonely, and I'm used to public speaking in a room full of people, and I bounce off people. But yeah, I'm growing to like really love these sessions. So keep us with you forever. Oh, Thais, I'm gonna cry. Oh, amazing. So anyway, I'm hot and I need my gin with extra ice. It's really hot. So look, you guys are awesome. I'm so glad you've enjoyed it. Do the homework, do the quiz, and I will see you very soon. If not before, I will see you on Thursday. Take care, everybody. Love you loads.